Good evening. It's been called one of the most important and consequential US elections in history. And yet, 2 days after Americans casted their ballots in record numbers, we're no closer to knowing with any certainty who will be occupying the White House from January next year. The battle all comes down to the final few remaining key swing states. Joe Biden only needs to win one of them to be named the next US president. And we've got our election analyst, Jeremy. He's joining us in the studio now to talk us through the current state of play. What does it look like at the moment?
Well, Ollie, tens of millions of votes have already been cast and counted. Dozens of these states have already projected for one of the other candidates. But there's really still everything to play for here, Ollie, because we're coming down to the wire. There's just 5 states that we have not projected for either one of these candidates. Alaska, of course, very heavily expected to go to this man, Donald Trump. But the other 4 still in play are very important, and they're so consequential because if you look at Joe Biden's electoral vote total there, Ollie, 264 out of 270. He just needs one of these 4 states to be named the next president-elect of the president-elect of the United States. Donald Trump would need to win all 4 to keep the keys to the White House.
Now, the easiest route for Joe Biden would be to take Nevada, wouldn't it? Let's start off with Nevada, and then we'll have a look at Pennsylvania.
That's right, Ollie, and we're expecting results from Nevada, in fact, any minute now. They have said that they're going to release results at the top of the hour, so those could come in any time. And you can see just how razor-thin the margin is in this state, Ollie. Less than 8,000 votes separating these 2 candidates. 6 electoral votes here. That's all Joe Biden needs to get to the victory point in this race. Such a crucial race here in Nevada. And most of the votes that are going to come that still remain are from the Las Vegas region. So they should be more urban voters coming in at this point, and those have trended towards Joe Biden. So that could be enough to hang on to his lead here. The other important state I want to talk about, let's move out to the Northeast, where we have Pennsylvania. This has been such a controversial state in this election. This is a blue wall state, traditionally Democratic for years, stolen by the GOP in 2016, a huge coup for the Republicans. When it started out, the counting here, Donald Trump had a big lead, but a lot of that mail-in ballots, absentee ballots started coming in, and Joe Biden has made a strong push towards the end here. Now we have just 125,000 votes separating the 2. A lot of the votes left to come here, Oliver, from Philadelphia. That's an urban region, as I said, trending towards Biden, so we could see him close that gap in the remaining couple days that votes are expected to be counted in Pennsylvania.
Now, the other 2 key battleground states are in the South. Usually, they are true red states. We're talking about Georgia and North Carolina here. But the gap seems to be narrowing between Trump and Biden.
That's right, Ollie. This is a traditionally a Republican state. Georgia, 16 electoral votes up for grabs here. Absolute must-win for Donald Trump, as is everything on the board at this point. We just heard from electoral officials there just a little while ago. In fact, they say that 60,000 votes are left to be counted. There's just about a 15,000 differential between these 2 candidates, so it could swing this vote either way. A lot of those remaining votes are in the Atlanta region. That's another urban region. We talked about this rural-urban divide with more rural voters trending towards Donald Trump, urban voters going towards Joe Biden. So whether or not Joe Biden can close that gap will depend on how those Atlanta voters cast their ballots. Of course, those officials that we heard speak just a little while ago, they said that, speed is a priority, but accuracy is the most important thing. And there's one last state I want to talk about, Ollie. That is North Carolina, just north of Georgia, another traditionally Republican state. This is one state that we will probably be waiting on. We might not see final results until next week at the earliest. They're still processing those mail-in ballots, so Monday or Tuesday more likely for North Carolina. But if Joe Biden can take one of those other states, it won't matter which direction North Carolina goes in. And finally, let's bring up these 2 candidates on the wall, where they stand for a recap here. So Joe Biden, 264 electoral college votes. Just 6 more he needs to get the keys to the White House. Donald Trump still has a ways to go, but he is still competitive in all of these states, so we could see him make a push in these final hours. We're going to keep across these numbers and see what comes in.
Jeremy East, a thrilling, if not a long race to the White House so far. Thank you very much.